So y'all know I no longer watch mainstream news media, but I do see a lot of what's being said or discussed or talked about on mainstream news media because I see the video clips floating around on social media, right? And so last night was the vice presidential debate between Governor Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. And if you watch the debate or if you're getting some of the commentary from political commentators out there on social media, the consensus is, and I agree with it, that J.D. Vance is a smooth talker. He's a smooth talker. I called him a slickster all throughout the debate, right? He speaks eloquently. He speaks with authority. He speaks with confidence that he knows what he's talking about. And so those who don't understand policy, who hasn't been following the politics, they would think that J.D. Vance knows what he's talking about. He doesn't. He's yapping. He's spewing lie. He is not saying anything of substance. He did not answer any of the questions that was asked of him. He deflected and he attacked Kamala Harris and her record and used dog whistles like the border czar and used the immigration crisis or the immigration bill as if Donald Trump didn't block a comprehensive bipartisan border bill. And so because J.D. Vance did so much lying, you know, the fact checkers were busy. And when the debate ended, the fact checkers came forth with their information. And I came across a commenter, a user over on Twitter that had a breakdown of the fact checking that Joyann Reid did over on MSNBC. Let's watch it, shall we?
I mean, at that moment when Tim Walz said, you really can't answer that question. You really can't say that Donald Trump lost the election. You can't do that. That was the moment of the night. But I was just going through and cataloging. You guys have mentioned some of them. He said there were 25 million undocumented immigrants in the country. It's probably more like 15, 16. He said that he repeatedly lied about Springfield again and did it so insistently that he had to have his mic muted because he kept trying to jump in and continue to lie about these people. He said they were brought in through something called the CBP-1 app, and that is an app that immigrants can use to come in and get a certain kind of visa. That was launched in 2020 under drumroll, Donald Trump. He said that he never supported a national abortion ban. I have here a printout that is already circulating all over social media. This is from the campaign website of J.D. Vance when he ran for the United States Senate. It is headlined, "End Abortion." He says he's 100% pro-life, believes abortion has turned society into a place where we see children as an inconvenience, on and on and on. You also gave one of the quotes, "I would certainly like to see abortion illegal nationally." He also said he was sympathetic to the view that a national ban would be necessary to stop women from traveling across states to obtain an abortion. So he's in favor of a sort of fugitive slave act to stop abortion. So he said that as well. He blames undocumented immigrants for everything from rising house prices, rising food prices, inflation, maybe ghosts and bad weather. I mean, he was blaming undocumented immigrants for every single thing. And then Tim Walz was really skillful in knocking those things down individually because he was speaking as a governor and could speak from his own experience. He did a great job talking about housing costs and how those actually worked. The bipartisan way to save healthcare was absolutely absurd. He said most of our solar panels are coming from China. It's literally the opposite. Google the Department of Education. It says 80% of our solar panels come from, drumroll, the United States. Trump peacefully gave over power on January 20, kind of skipped January 6 when he was trying to overthrow the government. He couldn't answer the question, did Trump lose the election? A smooth lie is still a lie. J.D. Vance is incredibly smooth, but he said, number one, nothing memorable. There's nothing clippable in what he said. They were just all smooth, bland lies. He got outdone by Tim Walz, who may be awkward. It took him a while to get warmed up, but he won the debate because he actually had substance. He was relatable, and he didn't go in there to slay J.D. Vance.
Yes.
He went in there to show himself, and he showed himself to be bipartisan. He showed himself to be reasonable. He showed himself to be practical. He acted as a governor. And a lot of people are complaining that he didn't knock J.D. Vance out and that he wasn't rhetorically cool. But that was not his job. It was obvious that his job was to sell Kamala Harris as president.
Exactly.
He did that very well.
I wrote a note to myself that he was not on offense against Vance in the first half of the debate. And then he came back after that break, right? After the break, it was like, just destroy them on healthcare. And then the January 6th, January 20th thing, I mean, I scratched out my own note. Sure, he was not on offense against Vance for the first half of the debate, and then he came back and more than made.
In my recap of talking about my thoughts on the debate, I said a lot of those same things. I felt that it wasn't Tim Walz's mission to slay J.D. Vance. I felt that he wanted to have respectful dialogue, a discussion, a conversation about the issues, about the topics. And that's what he delivered. I also said that J.D. Vance is a slickster. He's a slickster, a smooth talker. And if you aren't paying attention to the words that are coming out of his mouth, you would think that he knows what he's talking about. But if you're paying attention to the words that's coming out of his mouth, you will quickly pick up on nothing. The words are nothing more than a word salad. They have no substance, nothing, period. Side note, even though I am in agreement with Joyann Reid's fact check, I still am not feeling MSNBC. I am still not feeling mainstream news media because daily, they play with our democracy as they cover this election. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts on the fact check. I'll see y'all later.